Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered! Today it's a match between Jaedong and Stork on Talcross. Whew, very, very excited to bring you this match. Left side of the map, it is the legendary Protoss player Stork. And at the top right, it is the even more legendary Zerg player Jaedong. Both players cruising at about 400 APM right now here on Talcross. Such a fun map. It is really a great map, you guys. So many incredible games have been played on this one. We've had some incredible... What was that one? It was Jaedong versus Flash, I want to say, on this map. Like a 35-minute macro, back and forth, rough and tumble, TVZ for the ages. Ah, it was so good. It was so good. Anyway, hit that like button if you're excited to see Stork versus Jaedong on this map. Not the first time I've cast a map between these two guys, that's for sure, and probably won't be the last. Leave me a comment as well, even just a heart or a smiley or even a frowny, or even if you just want to tell me that I'm terrible at casting. You can do that too. Comments are all appreciated. Feedback is welcome. I don't know. I try to listen to feedback at all times. That was a very fast pool. Is that a 9 pool out of Jaedong? I want to say it was. There is not an overlord. That is not an overpool at all. All right, man. Early lings. But Stork comes in, scouts the correct spawning location here on this 3-player map. Wait, is it 3? Yeah. Because you can spawn down here, but not in the bottom left. That's right. Talcross, I know this map. So scouts the 9 pool, actually throws down a pylon right here. Stork, you cagey Protoss, you. I like this play. This is so good. You can't get out. That's a wall, right? That is a wall with a single pylon, which is going to cost you resources, yes, but it slows down this ling attack. I mean, the probe died a little bit faster than Stork would have preferred, I'm sure, but look at this. Oh, no, you can run through, but it is going to delay them. I was going to say, that doesn't look like a wall, but it does, because you don't want cannons coming up here, you know what I mean? So it delays it. Jaedong expands behind it at 15 supply, and then we have cannons coming up back home. Probably toss down a gateway here if I had to guess what Stork's going to do next. Or never mind, just sending a probe out. All right, well, these lings, they don't know. No, they do know. There's an overlord here. Yeah, basically, he sees the 2 cannons and says, nah, I'm not even going to try to get in there. My early pool strategy has been shut down because Stork was able to scout the right direction. He's taking a quick 3rd base in the bottom right here. Loving to see that. Nexus on the way now from Stork. Again, depending on the timing of that pool, if you're a Protoss player, you're going to delay your Nexus. If it's a very quick pool, you definitely want to forge 2 cannons up, maybe and throw down a gateway for additional wall-offs, and then you expand. If your opponent goes for a hatch first play, go for the Nexus, man. Go for the forge, then the Nexus, and then throw down a cannon at your leisure, and you'll be totally fine too. Timings matter, depending on what you scout. This is why you probe scout here. This second probe scouts the 3rd base. Very nicely done from Stork. Recognizing that Jaedong isn't necessarily going for a crazy 2-base all-in with Zerglings or anything, which would be pretty damaging here, actually. Like a whole ton of lings just flooding in here. I've seen that beat Protoss players in the past. And Jaedong is very capable of it, he sees. The lair mutation coming down because you need to rush for those Scourge because we're rushing for Corsairs on the other end if you're Stork. Are you? I mean, probably. There's really no reason to do anything else. But is he mineral walking? He's mineral walking through these guys. I was just talking about how great that probe control was, and then he lost it 2 seconds later, but... Day 9. I know I just recently talked about this, but the whole concept of... Day 9 just randomly posted a Brood War video the other day on his YouTube channel, like in amongst all of the Dota stuff and the card game stuff, which he does these days, but he just talked about how the Corsair was a never-used unit, especially against Zerg, until basically Bisu started opening Corsairs and wiping out Overlords, and he completely changed the entire meta of PvZ. Bisu, by himself, It's just an incredible story of just the effect that Bisu has had on the game. Because, yeah, check it out. Totally viable. Stargate, Citadel of a Dune, probably going to see some DTs up in here. Spire coming in because you need Scourge. You need Scourge or you need Hydralisks to handle these Corsairs, and it seems like the higher level players prefer Scourge because they're fast and they can fly just like the Corsairs can. And like Corsairs can kind of lose the Hydras by going back and forth across areas like this, whereas they can't lose Scourge. So there's some trade-offs. The Scourge die when they hit, which is a bit of a problem if you're trying to make an army, is if your units are suicidal, like Banelings in StarCraft 2 for Zerg. So there's your Corsair production. Templar Archives next. Oh, robotics facility next. Interesting. I wonder what that's going to be for. Shuttle, if I had to guess, but Reaver drops? C'est possible. C'est très possible. Hydralisk then. Hatchery coming in at the front door there for walling off purposes because we are worried about a Zealot attack coming in and ruining our day. And Templar Archives. Okay, so Templar Archives and a Stargate and a robotics facility. I assume the Robo is going to be for detection then. He's worried about a Lurker rush, which Lurkers can kind of generally ruin DTs if they don't bring detection with them. Which, hey, we're going to bring detection with us. Would not be surprised if an observatory was the next bit of tech we saw here out of Stork. So Corsair's cruising around trying to see what is what. Scourge in production. First pair coming in now in that production tab. Shuttle on the way. And no observatory. Interesting. I mean, he hasn't scouted what's going on yet. All he knows is there are Zerglings outside of his front door. He is making DTs. Oh, jeez. Okay, well, that Corsair's toast. That was just wrong place, wrong time action right there. This Corsair, it's about 42 hits for a Corsair to kill a single Overlord, and there you go, 2 of them down. 100 more to go if you're that Corsair, trying to stay alive in the face of, oh, there's Scourge right on my tail. Pretty good. Overlord scouting around, seeing what's what. DTs are now visible for a Jaedong. Got Hydras out, working on the missile attack upgrade and faster Overlord movement. You want fast Overlords if DTs are coming your way because they don't run, but they walk very fast. Oh, the jukes! Not enough, man. Shuttles are not as fast as Corsairs. Cannot outrun the little Scourgies. Not that Corsairs can outrun Scourge, they're the same speed, but you can run away from them and not die, whereas Scourge cannot. Especially if the Scourge, or if the shuttle doesn't have the speed upgrade. So Hydra's dancing about, going to try to put some pressure up on the Protoss player, recognizing you put a lot of resources into Corsairs and DTs. You know what you don't probably have a lot of is Storm. What you don't probably have a lot of is, what else ruins us? A lot of charge lots, a lot of speed lots here. Lurker Aspect coming in. DT just making a direct beeline for this natural base, getting chased by a Hydralisk. Any Hydras here in the main base? Possibly. Archon and Zealots fighting, but you know what's pretty good against Archons is Hydras. They're not bad. I prefer Hydra versus Archon for sure. The cannon hits are problematic. The Archons do a bunch of damage versus the Hydras. DT in the mix. 8 kills. There were no Hydras to defend that natural base at all. This DT just, I think, just going to wander. Oh, maybe. Oh, all right. Well, ends up 10 kills. Okay, we've done some work here today. We have brought down Jaedong to 19 drones. 19. The Hydralisk didn't do as much damage as they want on the other side here. He didn't adequately defend versus the DTs and lost a ton of workers, both at his main base and more so at his third base while that Hydra attack was going on. This does not bode well for Jaedong, ladies and gentlemen. I'm looking at Stork. I'm looking at his position. He's getting Storm. He's getting an observatory. He recognizes Lurkers are on the way. And they are. Lurker Aspect is complete, according to the production tab. That Ford is working on an upgrade. Is it going to finish it? It's going to be a race. Zealots are trying to save it so it actually finishes. And you know what? They do. They save that upgrade. It's coming in here. That is going to be a +1. A very important upgrade to get. So Jaedong is trying to drone up at the same time he's making Lurkers and Scourge, which is not easy to do all of those things at the same time. Zealots just kind of wandered into the main base. They're going to snipe down the Spire. Dude, Stork has had a plan here today. He has executed that plan. He has accomplished that plan, and the Spire goes down. Zealots are now like, you know what we're going to do? We're just going to kill a bunch of you drones. It still takes so many hits from a Hydra to take down a Zealot. They are tinky boys. Lurkers at the front. Bad news bears. Guess what's done, though? Storm is done. I'd almost... Man, is it almost worth it to make an Archon and just walk out there and kill these guys? It might very well be. Lurkers take forever to kill buildings, but they'll get there if you let them. I guess Zealots are not a bad idea either, though. Nice trap on that one up north, but the other two are managing to escape. The Scourge... This shuttle's like, hold on. Man, I'm so glad those Scourge didn't kill me, but what... How am I supposed to get over there with Scourge watching that northern path? Well, we just come home for a minute. And jumping on that Lurker. Scourge trying to get these observers, but the observers are a little zippy. They're not... Okay, well, all right. One of them goes down, but the other one is still alive enough to kill that Lurker. Very nicely done. I gotta say, man. Jaedong has caught up in worker count, which is nice, but he's down about 30 supply in total army, which is mostly Zealots and High Templar with Storm, which is really bad if all you have are Lurkers and Hydras. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes here. The shuttle is really trying to do storm drops. Overlord's going for a spread because they have speed. They can see where the shuttles are coming in. And hey, look, a shuttle's coming in. We discovered it. Oh boy. Oh boy. All right, there's Hydra's defending, though. That's not very good at all. I think he had to kill one of his own buildings to get out with the Dragoons anyway. Zealots have not had a problem, but... Hey, look, a storm drop! Ow. The High Templar die, but they've accomplished their mission, as Jaedong is down to 42 drones now. Again, 109 to 88 total supply. It's been a lot of Lings in production, which is fine unless Storm catches them and obliterates them from existence. I like that he has a fourth base that he's starting to drone up here, but he doesn't have any defense for the fourth base is really the big problem. I mean, I guess... Yeah, he's got enough Hydras, maybe some Lurkers in the mix. Stork's army is big. He does have 3 High Templar with it. That's a lot of Storms available, even without Corsair Amulet. He's going for it, boys. Storm is up. Storm is hitting. Lurkers down. Some Lurkers continuing to spine as well as they can here, but... Man, Dragoons versus Lurkers are great. Hydras versus Dragoons, not as good. But Storm versus Hydra is good. So Stork has all the ingredients he needs to make this thing happen. Sniping down that Observer would be big, but can't quite do it. And that one Hydra wants to kill it, but also wants to kill these Dragoons at the same time. And Jaedong is able to muster up just enough here. Just enough here to drive this army away. Reinforcing Dragoons come in, but I don't know if they want to deal with this many Lings and Hydras and Lurkers. By themselves, no. Zealots buffering, yes. Storm buffering, yes. Stork takes the opportunity to take a third base. He's up 46 to 44 workers at the moment, but the important thing here for Jaedong is that he kept all of his bases alive. He's getting a hive now at about 13 minutes. Trying to keep it out for shuttles here, but don't see any for the time being. These blue spots are generally not shuttles at the moment. Trying to expand to this bottom left here pretty quickly. I like it from Stork, but kind of leaving Jaedong alone for a minute. Nice snipe on that Observer, by the by. Jaedong, he's at 50 to 46 workers now. He has the lead that way. He's down in overall supply, but not by a huge amount. He's getting +1/+1 at the moment. Is this the first upgrades he's gotten today? No. Okay, so he's is he getting melee attack? No, he's already got 1/1 for the Zerglings and 2/1 for the Hydras. He's going for +2 attack melee and +3 attack, or +2 attack rather, for the ground carapace. I love the Overlord spread we're seeing here from Jaedong scouting all the things. He knows there's an Overlord here, so he knows the Zerg army is probably coming this way, so Stork's going to preempt that and head this way first. And maybe expand here down here to the south. What a great game this is. Very aggressive. Defiler mound coming in here too. Adrenal gland coming in. The upgrades have been good. That's not ranged. Okay, that's missile attack. Yeah. Meanwhile, the Protoss is sitting at +2 attack with 0 armor and 0 shields across the board, but usually that's kind of how we see Protoss roll, is with that attack upgrade being monumentally important. High Templar does get sniped by these lings. There's a lot of dead Zerglings, but every High Templar that dies is good for Jaedong. We see usually +3 attack, and then if we have some time, we'll get some armor upgrades next, as we can see now. Working on that armor upgrade now that +3 is on the way. But yeah, Defiler Mound and Consume. Jaedong needs those things in about the next 60 seconds here. It's really going to turn the tide of this game for him once he has Dark Swarm available, because without Dark Swarm, Protoss just rolls. There's really nothing Zerg can do at this stage of the game without it. Scourge maybe could have taken down an Observer there, but they didn't have detection available. Wings trying to get High Templar. Not really focusing this guy, even though he is really slim pickings. Or rather, easy pickings is what I was going for there. But he stays alive. It's cool. Dude, Jaedong is playing this so well from a position of just a deficit position is what I would call it here. Oh my gosh, the storms. But the storms, though. Man, Lurker's getting sniped out. I don't know that they're paying for themselves today, but Consume's on the way. Defilers are in production. We got Zerglings for that Consume ability. Though Consume can be used on any Zerg unit, including flying stuff. You can consume an Overlord if you want. And here we go. Here comes the swarm from all directions. I don't think Stork wants anything to do with being attacked from multiple directions here. Dragoons getting sniped out. And Stork in full retreat right now. If he can't hang on to this base, and I'm not convinced that he can. Not convinced that he can. Especially when Dark Swarm shows up. Oh, is this a thing? That's a thing. Meanwhile, DT's wandering in. Trying to get some more stuff done. Again, Stork got a lot of work done on those DTs that first time around. And you know what? This guy might rack up a couple kills here, and he does. And Jaedong cannot afford to lose drones in this instance. He's only got 41 of them. But he's really keeping Stork off of his bases right now, with the exception of the attack at the 6 o'clock here with some Zealots, which was problematic. We're looking at a 5-basing Zerg versus a 4-basing Protoss. Ultralisk Cavern coming in, and those Ultras are going to have upgrades, you guys. When they start popping, not that Jaedong has enough gas for them, it's 200 each for those Ultras. And that adds up to quite a bit. But the Zerglings have Adrenal Glands. The Zerglings have 2-2. They are working on 3 armor. And once a... Yes, Dark Swarm up here. There's no Reavers or Archons up here at all. That base is toast. Look at how futilely these cannons are coming up. And pull up. And pull up. Well, that's fine location 2, I guess. And everything dies. Yeah. This is why you have to have Reavers or High Templar at your bases, because that will happen to you if you don't. Zerglings don't engage. Do not engage. Just get out of there. Get out of there. Get the Defiler out of there. You can't really afford to make more Defilers, I don't think. Zealot's trying to make something happen at the 6 o'clock, and no. It's 119 to 116 supply. The Zerg player is up right now. He does get the Assimilator at this 3rd base. The Defiler is still alive with no energy to do anything. No, never mind. I jinxed it. He's dead. Left side base under attack. Does he not even bring in Dark Swarm this time? The Lings are trying to take down the cannons, but there are too many cannons. The Lurkers are trying to finish them off, but as I mentioned before, Lurkers aren't great against buildings. Not super great anyway. Man, a Dark Swarm would have changed the tides here for sure. I think Jaedong has come from behind here. Oh, no. The High Templar, though. Okay. All right. Every one of the High Templar that were transferring down to that 4th base are dead. It is 126 to 116 to apply. Stork has a lead, but losing every one of those High Templar means all he has are Dragoons and Archons. And Ling Hydra will take care of that, no problemo. Also, Ultralisk armor is coming in. Chitinous plating, in particular. Northern base in trouble. Cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha. Probes dying along the way. And last-ditch effort here, it feels like, from Stork to take down the 6 o'clock base, but Sunkens and Lings, and that's your good game. Jaedong takes the win in 20 minutes and 40 seconds, and it was a come-from-behind victory. I really don't know how else to characterize it. He lost so many workers to that opening DT attack at his main base and his 3rd base. I mean, they're still zealous killing his stuff now at the natural for whatever reason. He wasn't winning straight-up engagements. He did do some damage to the front door of Stork, but I think what it really came down to was never losing this base or this base or this base. Never lost a hatchery in this game. And if you never lose a hatchery in a game as a Zerg player, when it's 20 minutes, you're probably in a pretty good position, especially if you can kill Nexus on the other side, which is what he did here at the 3rd. Yeah, and again, the other major moment was catching these High Templar transferring down this way, just pop, 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 every one of those 6 High Templar down, meant this army was much less potent against Lings and against Hydralisks, and look at them running for their lives against these 2/2 Lings, soon to be 3 armor, 3 attack Lings with Adrenal. It's just not enough. It was not enough. He knew it, and he tapped out in 20 minutes and 40 seconds. I was really expecting this to be another Jaedong loss. We've seen him lose PVZs from time to time on this channel, especially the longer macro-style ones, which this definitely was, with the number of bases that were up. But at the end of the day, he has some great positioning, great scouting. This Overlord recognizing what's going on with this transfer really helped with that information, that intel, and he's able to pull a win out. So nicely done. Let's check out that final score. Hit that like button if you enjoyed that match. 132,000 points for Stork, 137,000 for Jaedong. Ends up producing 500 Zerg units, killing 100 of them, losing 300, but still, the numbers match up here for Jaedong in a very close match. Ends up raising a bunch of buildings, only loses 2 buildings of his own, which is a big deal in a ZVP, and then resources across the board. Despite losing all of those drones, he was able to snipe off bases and kill probes himself. He mines more gas, more minerals, and spends about 2,000 more resources at the end of the day for Stork. Gets up to that Dark Swarm tech, gets up to those Defilers, and gets the win. Boss game from Jaedong. Really enjoyed casting it. Hope you enjoyed it too, because that's going to be it for me today. So this has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.